Are you from Saskatoon? If you aren't, that's okay. But if you are, you need to listen up. Especially if you know me and if you recognize me. And for those who don't recognize me or don't know me, my name is Diamond. And I am on this app raising awareness about a registered sex offender who stalks, hacks, and catfishes people online, particularly women who have rejected him, such as myself. So like mentioned in part 1, this is part 2. This is the redone of my 6 series to be made shorter, more simple, and more clear, especially for people that I don't know. And also, like I've mentioned, everything that I say in this mini-series, I go into extensive details on my page throughout various videos. So if you go to my TikTok page and you see the videos with the text bolds on it, those are the details that I'm referring to. So I just kind of started going into just some of the things that this guy has done and just random stuff. And I'm going to try not to go back and forth too much and make it confusing. But like stated before, it doesn't really matter what order I talk about it in or how I talk about it. I've talked about it in so many different ways. People understand either way. So I was just ending it off where I was talking about how this guy catfished my son through the Xbox. And I go into actually a 3-part story on that, about how this offender groomed my son. Not grooming in the way that you think. Grooming where he gains his trust. And this didn't happen overnight. He was catfishing him through a number of years. Probably the same amount of years he was catfishing me while pretending to be certain friends and family. I go into details in that 3-part story about how my son and I figured it out, when we figured it out, how this idiot gave me confirmation that I knew it was him behind that account. And all the other accounts he pretended to be this kid behind on. He always called himself Sniper. So he knew my son's school, he knew the route, he knew our daily routine. He knew when my son was going to be home alone, like when we went to the store, or when we went out. And as of now, since I'm a bit of a tough cookie to get to, he's currently stalking high school kids online. Particularly my son's peers from his old school and his new school. So in order to try and prevent the same type of problem that happened to my friends and family, and my acquaintances and people I don't even really talk to, I had to contact the school and send them 5 long 10-minute voice notes about pretty much everything that I've said on this page, leaving out minor details that didn't really resonate with any of what the school needed to know. But I did also let them know they can come to my page to view anything because I am very transparent. So now there's going to be meetings between the schools, so good job, offender. All the parents are going to know and they're going to be well aware. Because as soon as I mentioned that he is on the registry, they weren't fucking around. And then I go into other details about that on my page as well. But here's just some other weird things that he's done. There's some family members of mine that aren't even on Facebook. Like at all on Facebook. And he took family photos from other family members of mine. And he would crop out their faces and make whole profiles of theirs. Because I've had claims from other family members being like, what? I don't have that person online. Why do you just have that person online? At the time, I didn't clue in, but now it makes sense. This guy impersonated my brother before and after his death. And there's a series talking about that, which also includes my other friend who passed away, I think 3 years coming up now. And when I found out that was hidden from me, it made me realize a lot of my friends had to have been hacked. Because a lot of our mutual friends are from out of town. And my buddy and I are from the same town, Saskatoon. And I would have been the first one to find out. But I wasn't. I found out a good old 2 years later. So that just showed me that a lot of my friends weren't my friends online. And the reason for that is obviously I would have went to the funeral. I would have found out some of what was going on, if not all of it. And I probably would have figured out about the fake accounts of me out there upon meeting and connecting with old friends had I gone to this funeral. Another weird thing this guy did is when we first met, I was looking for a phone. I got a brand new phone on a brand new plan. But this guy was pushing to help to get me a phone, and I thought he was just talking smack. I thought it was just pre-conversations. He was just being nice. And when I showed up to hang out with him, he was expecting me to get a new phone with him, like online, like a secondhand phone. So when I showed up, he was trying his hardest not to get mad, and it took me a long time to figure out why he got mad. Or sorry, why he was fighting, trying to show himself not getting mad. And I realized he was trying to set up a way to give me a phone that probably had like a spy app or something on it. So even before we met, he was planning to trap me, no matter what. So like I said, when I said I was nice to him, I've mentioned it in other videos. It doesn't matter if I was nice or if I was really mean, he would have done what he's done. And I also believe that the fact that he hasn't gotten his way, like completely taking over all of my accounts and impersonating me and creating this narrative online or completely harming me, because I think in his head he was counting on succeeding last year. He was counting on either coming to my home or completely taking over my accounts and doing who knows what. But the fact that he didn't succeed, and that I found out about a whole bunch of new stuff and a whole bunch of stuff that he's probably been up to for years, he's extremely desperate to stop me from speaking out, from connecting people with people locally, and that's just online. And that's what led me to coming onto this app, was I accidentally found out he's the Facebook admin on many local Facebook group pages in Saskatoon and Edmonton and Calgary. And all that started out was I was just trying to make posts and comments about this situation. I was just trying to connect with people. But him hiding my comments and my posts is what made me and my friends do a little deep dive and figure out that the only people that can hide posts and comments is the group admin. And I go into a 4-part series about all of that and explain in many details about everything. And I also talk about how I accidentally caught him too behind the Reddit mods in Saskatoon. Because I also posted it, I was just trying to give someone advice, give them a warning about these fake accounts and how it was possibly connected to the post, to a Facebook post, and I explain it in that 4-part series. And then whoops, he deletes or he declines my comment within a minute. And I accidentally find out he's behind the mod. And that wasn't overnight either. That was over the course of a few months that I found out about all that. And then him copying my friend's profile to a T when we were screwing online, trying to figure out what was going on Facebook. And we had to figure out that we had to copy the Facebook URL in the cover photo. And then also make a video and match all the info together. So if he didn't run me through all that, I would have never figured out to do that and how to show people how to tell which profile is mine apart from other fake ones out there. And also, it just shows me that this guy has a lot to hide. If he went to those extremes to do what he did, he wasn't expecting me to find out. And he obviously didn't think. And then he screwed around and I found out. And not only found out, I also realized he's got a lot to hide. And then shortly after, I found out he's on the registry. And his real name and where he's from. Because he purposely planted me with a name that wasn't his. It was similar, but it wasn't his. And he also told me he was from somewhere else. Anyways, that's it for part 2. Part 3 will be in the next video.